posted some information that was, basically trying to save my life. And thank goodness to my ex, the wonderful Kim Porter, the late Kim Porter, who, kind of warned me all along the way to, just kind of watch your back, so on and so forth. And I didn't understand why.
Because of Diddy.
Basically.
Someone cheats and they have a child with someone else, that's my boundary. That's, for me, that's where I draw the line. And so with that happening, it made it a little easier to leave.
And longtime girlfriend of entertainer Sean Diddy Combs, Kim Porter, was laid to rest yesterday in her hometown of Columbus, Georgia. Funeral taking place at Cascade Hills Church. Porter leaves behind 3 children with Combs and an older son by singer Al B. Shore. Celebrity pastor T.D. Jakes did the eulogy for the funeral. Porter was found dead in her Los Angeles home last Thursday. Authorities say she went into cardiac arrest while fighting flu-like symptoms. She was 47 years old.
At the night before Kim Porter passed, that she group text some close friends saying that he got me.
Okay, buckle up, because this is not just another Hollywood rumor. It's a full-blown emotional roller coaster that has people shaking. Al B sure has officially stepped out from the shadows and is ready to spill everything about Diddy. And when we say everything, we mean the kind of secrets that could burn reputations to the ground. Let's start with this. Al has never changed his story, not once. That consistency, that's what makes this so scary for Diddy, who's already drowning in allegations and public scrutiny. And now, word on the street is that Al's about to take the stand in Diddy's trial. Oh yes, this isn't just online gossip anymore. This is real-life courtroom tea with legal consequences. And baby, it gets messier, because Al B. Shore isn't just pointing fingers. He's opening up about Kim Porter too. And his connection to Kim? It's deep. Before Kim ever became Diddy's girl, she was with Al. Not only do they share a son, Quincy, but Kim was actually the muse behind Al's legendary track, Forever My Lady. That wasn't just a song. That's right, Kim inspired the whole thing, and according to Al, their bond went way deeper than people ever knew. He even claims they were secretly married. And get this, he dropped that bombshell during a Fox Soul interview where he said he still pays tribute to Kim from time to time to keep her memory alive. That's real love. But now, that love is at the center of something much darker. Because here's the twist. Al has never been okay with the official story behind, not even a little bit. He's been screaming from the rooftops for years that something shady went down, that this wasn't some tragic accident. And now that Diddy's legal troubles are heating up, people are finally listening.
But one thing is, you have volunteered to testify at the trial, correct?
Not as of yet. Actually, I was subpoenaed.
Okay.
So my attorneys worked something out. So I believe when the time is right, I'm going to discuss it with my attorneys.
But you're willing to?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, I am.
Remember when Kim Porter's alleged diary exploded onto the internet, dragging Diddy with it? In those pages, Kim supposedly laid bare his darkest secrets. As soon as that tea dropped, Al was not having it. He ran to Instagram, throwing a grenade of his own. He posted a headline that read, "Diddy's late ex, Kim Porter, revealed his twisted secrets and alleged diary entries," and captioned it 2009 through 2018. That sent fans into chaos. But instead of support, Al got dragged. People said he was losing it, that he was begging for attention. They laughed at him. They told him to sit down, but Al stood his ground. He had been warning people for years, repeating what Kim confided in him in desperation. She even told him to watch his back, and the cops reportedly ignored all of it. Now people are realizing maybe, just maybe, Al was never crazy. Maybe he was right.
In fact, we were all at the event together at Netflix in the lobby. Sean, myself, the children, all having a great time. And I'm, grabbing Sean like, what? And she's in the back going, stop, So it was a really festive opportunity just for all of us to be together, because it's nothing like the circus that's out here. So it was, a lot of the stuff, came to surprise, but a lot of the stuff will be revealed and that's why I thought it would be a good idea to finally tell my story. Every network came.
Then boom, March 2024 hits and Al drops another bomb. He hints that Diddy may have had something to do with the coma he mysteriously slipped into back in 2022. You heard that right. He went into a coma, and now he's saying that wasn't just fate, it may have been foul play. And to make matters even more jaw-dropping, Al says he's working on a documentary, and it's not some cute behind-the-scenes story. It's the kind of project that promises to shake the world.
We are going to the
the Albie Shore life story. So hold on to your britches, and you'll really understand how I ended up in a coma. You're really gonna need to call Homeland Security.
But let's not pretend like Al B. Short just started running his mouth last week. No, this man's been screaming into the void for years. Way back in November 2021, he dropped a chilling post saying that before Kim died, she was running. From what or who? He didn't say directly, but he made it clear it was serious. So serious, in fact, he allegedly told Kim to call the FBI. But then out of nowhere, he edited the post. That mention of the FBI suddenly changed to Kim running a marathon. A marathon. People were confused, concerned, and suspicious. Did someone get to him? Because this kind of sudden switch up isn't normal, especially not after a post that serious. And Al's grief? It's real. He once shared footage of the exact moment he found out Kim had died. He said it ripped the soul out of his physical body. That's not just pain, that's trauma. That's a man haunted by guilt, grief, and maybe secrets. He never accepted the official story, not for 1 second. He said flat out that Kim didn't die of pneumonia. That's some straight up nonsense, he wrote. And to prove how serious he was, he tagged Diddy directly, point blank. I know what you did. According to Al, just days before Kim died, she was at a celebration for their son Quincy's Netflix Christmas special. Laughing, glowing, vibrant, not someone on the verge of death from pneumonia. Something's off, and Al wants the world to know it.
Been quite a journey, and as I said, you know, even as it relates to writing the book, I went through many, almost, you know, more than a decade of being scrutinized and clowned by law enforcement, them telling me, you need some help. Sex trafficking, really? What's wrong with you? No way, you know, just what, not realizing that they were also working for the...
And guess what? Al B. Shore just dropped another bombshell. He's writing a tell-all memoir. It's called Do You Believe Me? And you better believe him, because this book is about to rip open every locked door in Diddy's past. The book promises raw details about what really happened between him, Diddy, and Kim. And if that wasn't enough to make your jaw hit the floor, he's now saying that his 2022 health scare, that terrifying brush with death, he believes Diddy and his camp had something to do with it.
Specifically then, that Sean Diddy Combs or people affiliated with him did something to you that caused you to have multi-organ failure.
I believe this to be the case, yes. Absolutely.
Wow.
We're talking full-blown multiple organ failure. Not a headache, not a flu, multiple organs shutting down. Al says this wasn't random. He says people had a bounty on his head. And ever since he started speaking out, he's been harassed, threatened, and stalked. But he's not backing down. In fact, Al has been subpoenaed in Diddy's ongoing trial. And baby, he's ready to talk. This isn't for clout. This isn't for money. This is Al risking it all to live his truth. His words, this isn't some PR stunt. And listen, we can't brush him off, because the circumstances surrounding Kim Porter's death, they do not add up. Let's talk about the scene. Reports say there was blood on Kim's pillowcases, a faint blood trail on the floor leading to the bathroom, and she wasn't even found in her bed, despite what people were told. She was on the bathroom floor, someone moved her. Why?
Basically.
Do you believe that she died of pneumonia?
Absolutely not.
Why? What evidence do you have?
She was in the best of health. We just saw each other prior to her passing. We were actually celebrating our son's new Netflix Christmas special, and she was doing just fine.
That alone is sketchy enough. But then the original coroner who did Kim's autopsy reportedly noticed something strange too. They found unusually high levels of a specific toxin in her system that raised major eyebrows. This wasn't your everyday pneumonia case. Something smelled fishy. And that's not all. Her last known phone call was allegedly to 9123 AM/EM, but Kim wasn't found until 11 o'clock AM/EM the next morning. What happened during those 9 hours? Where was everyone? Who found her? Why the delay? Now, Kim's family isn't sitting on their hands either. Reports say they've hired lawyers and are preparing a potential wrongful death lawsuit. Why? Because they claim they have physical evidence. Al isn't just talking into the wind. He knows stuff. And he's not the only one who suspects foul play, because here's where things go full-on creepy. Almost every major person from Diddy's inner circle during Kim's era, they're gone. Heavy D, gone. Andre Harrell, gone. Kim Porter, gone. And the only two left from that Uptown Records crew? Diddy and LB, sure. And don't forget, Al almost died too. Coincidence or pattern? Now here's where this whole thing gets straight up chilling. Why is it that everyone who ever got close to Diddy and even thought about releasing a tell-all project ended up gone or silenced? Or worse, let's break it down. Andre Harrell was reportedly writing a book. He died before finishing it. Heavy D, same thing, working on a project, then bam, gone. Kim Porter, she too was working on a book, reportedly getting ready to tell it all. Albee, sure, he was in the middle of filming a documentary, then ends up in a coma. A full-blown, multi-organ failure coma. Are we really going to pretend none of this is suspicious? And Kim's story gets darker with every new whisper. There was allegedly a real, raw manuscript that Kim was working on, not the ghost-written, safe version that was released after her passing. No, we're talking about the one packed with everything she had never dared say out loud before. Allegedly, she even warned Al B. Sure, don't show up at certain places. Diddy is capable of anything. And according to Al, Kim had been roughed up by Diddy multiple times. It wasn't just mental abuse. There were claims of full-blown physical and psychological control. She even supposedly broke down crying after being forced into doing unspeakable things just to please him. One detail, allegedly, she was forced to use a strap-on. Yes, you read that right. And then left humiliated and in tears. This is the kind of darkness Kim was trying to escape from. And when she finally drew a line, it was over her daughters. Kim made it crystal clear if Diddy ever tried to take custody of their twin girls, she would blow the whistle on everything. And apparently she had all the receipts. That was her ultimate weapon, a vault of secrets that could tear the music industry to pieces. But then she was gone, and the timing, suspicious, too perfect, too convenient, because this wasn't just about domestic abuse or custody battles. No, according to sources close to Kim, she was about to expose something way bigger, something that reached back into hip-hop history, something that could unravel everything. Get ready for this one. Apparently, Kim was preparing to reveal that the whole East Coast, this West Coast beef between Tupac and Biggie, was a carefully orchestrated setup. She believed the feud was manufactured so labels like Bad Boy and Death Row could get rid of the stars, then take over the rights to their master recordings. We're talking about a multi-million-dollar power grab masked as a rap rivalry. Kim supposedly had info that Pac and Biggie were planning to join forces and demand full control over their music. But before that could happen, both gone. You see the pattern yet?
I mentioned that earlier, that he said about Stevie J. The Usher part, that's a touchy situation, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a certain feeling, and I felt a certain way when Usher got on Shay Shay, and I don't mean to mention other people's platforms, but he got on Shay Shay and he mentioned how great and how good Puff taught him and everything. You know what I'm saying? About the business.
And it gets even messier. Because Kim wasn't just about to air Diddy's dirty laundry in business. She was allegedly about to talk about his private life. Specifically, his relationships with men. According to the rumors, Kim was ready to expose how Diddy had manipulated and taken advantage of several men in the industry. And some of the names, huge. Even Usher was allegedly on that list, allegedly. Now, we gotta say it again. These are just allegations. But if even a fraction of this is true, it would make sense why people didn't want that book to ever see daylight. And yet, somehow, a different book did come out under Kim's name after her death. But here's the thing. Nobody can confirm whether Kim actually wrote it. And get this, while the mystery memoir did call out Diddy, it also threw some major shade at Albee. Sure.
I know, and people know, that was around in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital.
But Al wasn't having it. He came out swinging, calling the whole book a straight-up pack of lies. He denied everything and even threatened to sue. None of that came from me, he said. Don't tie my name to that mess. Still, not everyone's convinced. Some people think Al B. Sure only pops up when it suits him. They say he's selfish, opportunistic, and always finds a way to spin the narrative in his favor. And they do have a point, because when Quincy his own son, made a statement asking people to stop feeding the conspiracy theories about Kim's death. What did Al do? He went cryptic, posting weird coded stuff instead of standing behind his son in that moment of pain. He didn't show sympathy. He didn't back off. He just seemed locked in on exposing Diddy, no matter who got hurt in the process. And when that mystery book dropped, instead of focusing on the terrifying things it said about Kim's life, Al seemed more upset about being mentioned. He was mad about his name being dragged through the dirt, not the horrific details Kim may have left behind. People started calling him out. "This ain't about you, Al," they said. "Why are you making it about you?" But the most controversial moment, when Al publicly questioned why Quincy was still following Diddy on Instagram. Yeah, that raised some eyebrows. Like, you're really gonna come for your son because of social media? That rubbed people the wrong way. Like, Al wasn't trying to protect Quincy, he was trying to provoke him. So yeah, the internet is split. On one hand, Al seems like a grieving ex who's been trying to get justice for Kim for years. On the other, he's acting erratic, selfish, and obsessed with his own narrative. But one thing is certain, when he takes the stand, it's about to go down. The blood, the toxicology reports, or the alleged surveillance, or will he just use the moment to clear his name? Whatever he says, whatever secrets he decides to unleash, one thing's for sure, the truth is going to shake the courtroom walls. This isn't just another celebrity drama, this is life and death, power and silence, secrets and revenge. And in the center of it all, Al B. Sure. So now I have to ask, do you believe him? Do you believe Kim's death was a setup? Do you think Diddy's past is about to come crashing down? Because if Al tells even half of what he knows on the stand, the game might never be the same again. Let me know what you think in the comments and make sure to hit that bell so you don't miss what happens when the truth hits the fan. This ain't over, not by a long shot.